I want to start today's video with something that I wish someone had told me before I needed to know it, and something I wish every parent in Australia knew before they started thinking about childcare. Childcare waitlists in Australia are long. In many areas, they are extraordinarily long. And the biggest single mistake I see families making is finding out about waitlists at the same time that they need childcare. By then, in many cases, it's already too late to get the spot they want, at the centre they want, and for the days they need. So today, I'm going to give you the complete, honest picture of how Australian childcare waitlists actually work, when to get on them, how to manage them, what your rights are, and the insider knowledge that most parents don't know about until they've already learnt the hard way. Stay to the end because I've got a free printable childcare waitlist guide in the description that walks you through everything we cover today in one practical reference. Let's go. Let me give you the honest picture of what waitlists actually look like across Australia right now, because I think a lot of parents genuinely don't know until they're in the middle of it. In major cities such as Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane, waitlists at popular centres in desirable suburbs can be anywhere between 12 months to 3 years. Yes, 3 years. In regional areas like Armidale in New South Wales, where I'm based, the situation varies significantly. Some areas have shorter wait lists due to lower demand. Others have critical shortages where there simply aren't enough childcare places to meet the community's needs, regardless of how early you put your name down. The demand for childcare places in Australia has significantly outpaced supply for years. The combination of both parents working, increased awareness of the benefits of early childhood education, and a genuine shortage of qualified educators has created a system under enormous pressure. Understanding that reality, not to frighten you, but to inform you, is the starting point for navigating it successfully. So, when should you actually get on a waitlist? The honest answer to this question is going to surprise most people watching this video. The general professional recommendation is to get on childcare waitlists as soon as you know you're pregnant, ideally in your first trimester. I know that sounds extreme. I know it feels strange to be thinking about childcare when you're still in the early weeks of pregnancy. But in many parts of Australia, particularly metro areas, this is genuinely the timeline that gives you the best chance of securing a place at your preferred centre for when you actually need it. If you're already past that point though, if your child is already born, already a toddler, already approaching childcare age, don't panic. Get on wait lists now. The sooner the better. And use the strategies I'm going to share in this video to maximize your chances. The mistake is waiting until you know exactly what days you want, exactly when you'll be returning to work, exactly what your budget looks like. By the time you know all of that with certainty, you may have already missed the window at the centres you actually want. Get on the wait list now. You can always clarify the details later. Here's something most parents don't know about how childcare wait lists actually operate, and it's genuinely important. There is no national standardised waitlist system in Australia. Every childcare centre manages their own waitlist in their own way. Some use digital platforms like Explore or Hubworks. Some use spreadsheets. Some use paper lists. Some have formal policies about how they prioritise offers, and some don't. That means that being on a waitlist doesn't guarantee you a place in any standardised way. And it means that how you manage your relationship with the centre that you're on the waitlist for can genuinely influence your outcome. Look, while every centre is different, most will give you priority in roughly this order. First, siblings of children already enrolled. If you have one child at a centre and want to enrol a second, that sibling priority is usually significant. Second, staff's children. Educators' own children often receive priority placement. Number 3, families already known to the centre through community or professional connection. Number 4, the general waitlist, usually in date order of registration, but not always. Understanding this hierarchy helps you understand why getting on the waitlist early and staying visible and engaged with the centre genuinely matters. So let's get into a practical waitlist strategy and what actually works. So, first up, get on multiple waitlists simultaneously. Don't put your name down on one centre's waitlist and wait. Put your name on 3 to 5 centres in your area simultaneously. Your preferred centre obviously first, but others as backups. There is no penalty for being on multiple waitlists. You're not committing to anything by registering. And having multiple options gives you genuine choice when offers start coming in, rather than being forced to accept whatever becomes available. Number 2, tour before you go on the waitlist. Don't just register online. Tour the centre first. Use my red flags video to know what you're looking for. And when you tour, introduce yourself properly to the director. A family who has toured, met the director, asked good questions, and then is registered as a known quantity in that centre. A family who registered online without any contact is just a name on a list. In a competitive waitlist situation, that personal connection matters. Step 3, stay visible. Once you're on a waitlist, don't just wait passively. A brief friendly email or phone call every 3 to 4 months, just checking in just to let you know we're still keen, and just updating your details if needed, keeps you visible without being pushy. Directors are human. A family who has stayed genuinely engaged is more memorable than one who registered 18 months ago and hasn't been heard from since. Step 4, be flexible where you can. Flexibility significantly improves your waitlist outcomes. Centres often have places available on less popular days. Mondays and Fridays, for example, tend to have higher availability than Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. If you can be flexible around which days you need, even partially, mention this explicitly when you register and when you follow up. We ideally want Tuesday and Thursday, but could work with other days if needed. Opens significantly more doors than a rigid requirement. And step 5, consider starting with fewer days. If your preferred centre has a place available for 2 days, but you wanted 3, consider taking the 2 days and getting your child settled and established at the centre. Additional days often become available for enrolled families before waitlisted families. Getting your foot in the door is often the most effective waitlist strategy of all. So when a place becomes available, most centres will contact you and give you a relatively short window to accept or decline, sometimes as little as 24 to 48 hours. That's why it is so important to have already toured the centre, already made your decision in principle about whether it's somewhere you're happy with, and already have a rough sense of your financial situation through the childcare subsidy. If you receive an offer and you're not sure, it's completely reasonable to ask for a brief extension. Most centres will give you a day or 2, but don't take too long. They will have other families waiting, and a delayed response can affect your relationship with the centre. If you do receive an offer though, from your second or third choice centre before your first, this is a genuinely difficult decision. My honest advice, if the centre is a good one and you need care, accept it and continue waiting for your first choice. A good centre that's available now is better than a perfect centre that might not have space for another year. Parents don't often hear what their rights are though in relation to childcare waitlists, and I want to give you a clear picture. There is no legal requirement for childcare centres to manage waitlists in any particular way. They are private or community organisations and their waitlist processes are their own. However, if you feel like you've been treated unfairly or discriminated against in a waitlist process, there are avenues available. The Australian Human Rights Commission and state-based anti-discrimination bodies can investigate complaints if you believe you've been discriminated against based on a protected characteristic. Your most practical right is simply the right to ask. Ask the centre where you are on their waitlist. Ask what their prioritisation process looks like. Ask what would improve your position. Most centres will answer honestly, and the information helps you make better decisions. Now, I want to speak specifically to regional and rural families now, because the waitlist experience can be very different from major cities. and not always in the way you'd expect. In some regional areas, waitlists are shorter because demand is lower. In others, particularly areas with educator shortages or limited childcare infrastructure, the shortage of places is acute regardless of how early you register. For regional families, the additional strategy worth knowing about is family daycare. Family daycare educators operate from their own homes and are regulated under the same national quality framework as centre-based care. In areas where centre-based places are scarce, family daycares are often significantly more accessible and can be genuinely excellent quality care. Also worth knowing, if your area has a genuine shortage of childcare places, your local council and state government member are the right people to contact. Advocating for more childcare infrastructure in your community is legitimate and important, and local political pressure does make a difference over time. But if you are struggling with waitlists and need care, two alternatives here that are worth knowing about. In-home care is a government subsidised option where an educator comes to your home to care for your child. The childcare subsidy applies to in-home care, making it more financially accessible than many families realise. It is particularly valuable for shift workers, families in rural areas, and children with additional needs. A private nanny as well. This isn't subsidised, however, but it does offer flexibility that centre-based care won't match. For some families, particularly those with multiple children or complex work schedules, the cost can actually be comparable or even lower than full-fee centre-based care without subsidy. Neither of these, though, replace centre-based and family daycare-based care for everyone, but they're genuine options worth knowing about when waitlists are presenting a significant barrier. Australian childcare waitlists are one of the most stressful parts of the early parenting journey and one of the least understood. Most parents only find out how they work at the exact moment they almost need to already know. So if you're watching this, act now. Get on waitlists, tour centres, stay visible and be flexible. And if you're watching this because you're already in the middle of a waitlist challenge, use these strategies. Ask questions. Consider your alternatives. Don't assume the first answer is the final answer. The free printable childcare waitlist guide is in the description. The complete timeline, the strategies, and your rights all in one place. Take it with you, share it with your partner, and use it. So, if this video helped you today, please hit subscribe. There's so much more coming for Australian parents navigating this childcare system. And if you know a pregnant friend who hasn't thought about childcare waitlists yet, send this video to them. You might just save them an enormous amount of stress. And always, don't forget, let's all walk in love and peace.